Would you believe in miracles if they could change your entire life? Have you ever thought that a random idea scribbled on an old train could completely transform a life, and then the entire world? Is it too much to believe that someone who's lost everything could somehow come alive again, going on to create the most beloved book series of all time? Tonight's story is a reminder. Real magic sometimes comes from inside us, in moments when we think there's nothing left at all. Childhood, silent wounds, and the seeds of resilience. Joanne Rowling was born in 1965 in England, growing up in a middle-class family in a small village near Bristol. At first glance, her childhood wasn't remarkable. Her father was an engineer at Rolls-Royce, her mother a lab technician. It all looked fine on the outside, but Jo often felt like she didn't fit into the world around her. She was the kind of kid who liked to be alone, reading or dreaming for hours, coming up with fantasy stories, sketching maps of castles, inventing magical creatures that only she could see. Fun fact, she wrote her first story at age 6 about a rabbit named Rabbit who had measles and was nursed back to health by animal friends. But things weren't so easy beneath the surface. Her parents argued often and drifted apart. Her mother started suffering from multiple sclerosis when Jo was still a teenager, a disease for which there was no cure, slowly draining the life from the woman Jo adored. This left deep scars in Jo's heart. Have you ever watched someone you love fade away before your eyes and realize that there's nothing you can do? That kind of helplessness stays with you and makes you wonder, how will I move on? How can I find meaning in pain? Education, ambitions, and those early uncertain steps of adulthood. Joanne loved literature, but for practical reasons, she studied French at Exeter University, where she was exposed to new ideas and expanded her creative mind. But she also felt out of place among outgoing, ambitious classmates. After college, Rowling worked a string of jobs, translating, temping, secretary work, none quite fulfilling, most just meant to pay the bills. But through all of it, she never stopped writing. Her stories filled with magic lived on napkins, in notebooks, on scraps of paper, wherever inspiration struck. Maybe you've been there. You work just to get by, but hold tightly to a hidden passion or a tiny dream. The real question is, will you nurture that spark inside you, no matter how hard things get? Personal tragedy and rock bottom. The coming of Harry Potter. Life for Rowling took a dark turn when her mother died in 1990, leaving Jo adrift and searching for meaning. The shock haunted her for years. Desperate for a fresh start, Jo moved to Portugal to teach English, hoping to rekindle her spirit. There she married, but the relationship soon fell apart, ending in divorce just over a year after the birth of her daughter, Jessica. No husband, no money, a single mother returning to Scotland, living on welfare. Rowling had hit rock bottom. She felt desperately alone, hopeless, even struggling with depression and thoughts of ending her life. Imagine raising a baby on your own, no steady job, mourning your mother after a failed marriage. It's astounding that anyone could even think about success under such circumstances. But sometimes, hardship forges the greatest strength. Rowling's pen never stopped moving. While her daughter slept in an Edinburgh cafe, she wrote. The story taking shape on those battered pages was Harry Potter, that magic moment, the idea for Harry Potter on a train. One afternoon in 1990, Jo found herself on a delayed train from Manchester to London, exhausted and drained. Suddenly, an idea flashed through her mind. A skinny little boy with glasses, living in a cupboard under the stairs, who discovers he's a wizard, admitted to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Rowling recalled, I had no pen, no paper, just my mind overflowing with details. In that moment, I knew. Harry Potter was born inside me. Maybe you've had an idea pop into your mind at exactly the wrong time. But here's the real question. Will you believe it has the power to change your life? 5 years of writing and revising, a quiet struggle behind every great work. Harry Potter didn't appear perfectly formed overnight. Rowling spent 5 years painstakingly building her magical universe. The history, rules, characters, classes, hidden secrets, subplots, alongside raising her daughter, often scribbling in cheap cafes, sometimes writing on napkins or any scrap she could find. During that time, she was rejected by dozens of publishers who told her, "Kids don't want to read long books about wizards." She rewrote, edited, and kept going, alone and discouraged, but determined. You might have heard it before. People who succeed are usually the ones who get rejected more times than you'd ever guess, simply because they don't give up. Rejection after rejection, never giving up hope, publisher after publisher turned her down. One editor even suggested, "You should probably get a real job or write short stories. This won't sell." After getting so many no's, have you ever felt like quitting? Which door will you knock on after your hope wears thin? Rowling kept sending her manuscript out in silence, with nobody but herself to believe in it. The light at the end of the tunnel, the first publication, and a tiny spark of hope. Finally, Bloomsbury, a small London publisher, picked up the manuscript, mostly because the chairman's 8-year-old daughter Alice read it and begged her father for more. She was paid only £1,500 as an advance and advised, "You better get a day job, this kind of book hardly sells." But Rowling now had a door cracked open, a faint glimmer of hope. Sometimes just one person believing, one chance, is all it takes to start changing everything. Would you keep chasing your dream if the only encouragement came from a single voice in the dark? The phenomenal breakthrough, Harry Potter goes global. After publication in the UK, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone spread by word of mouth. American publishers soon bought the rights, Sorcerer's Stone, and the book exploded into a phenomenon. Nobody predicted how big it would become. Harry Potter swept the world, each new volume topping every bestseller list, reaching over 500 million copies in 80-plus languages, and becoming the best-selling book series in human history. The movies expanded its impact, reaching billions, making Rowling the world's most successful female author and one of our greatest sources of hope and inspiration. So, what's behind the magic? Is it raw talent, or is it the grit to believe in your storytelling, no matter how many people doubt you? The healing power of a story, real lessons for all of us. Harry Potter isn't just for kids. It's a story about courage, facing your past, overcoming tragedy, about friendship, about good triumphing over evil. Thousands of readers have said the books helped them through depression, loneliness, loss, giving them hope again. J.K. Rowling, even after becoming a billionaire, gave much of her fortune to charity, supporting single mothers, the disadvantaged, and staying true to her own values, even in the face of harsh criticism. I believe Rowling's story is proof. Success isn't just about imagination, but the courage to face darkness, turn pain into purpose, and show up each day, even when nobody believes. My own thoughts. Everyday magic is waiting for those who never give up. As someone who's fallen and failed more than once, I've learned, miracles aren't always fireworks. Sometimes they're just one idea, one chance, one more time you pick yourself up when it seems all doors are closed. J.K. Rowling teaches us that success doesn't pick those who start from the top, only those who refuse to quit, even when there's just one try left. So, what about you? Are you ready to start writing your own story of magic? Thank you for joining me on this journey through the wonder, heartbreak, and perseverance of J.K. Rowling. If this touched you, share your thoughts in the comments. Your voice just might inspire someone else. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories about resilience, achievement, and the people who dared to be different. No matter how dark life gets, remember, if you keep believing, Magic is always waiting just ahead.